Hi, I'm Donald Osborne, CEO of Audrain LLC. I'm here in the Audrain Automobile Museum in Newport, Rhode Island to give you a glimpse into our exhibition, The Past to the Present, Power and Speed with Style. This exhibition looks at how the DNA of an automotive manufacturer lives and indeed thrives through the decades. The pair we're looking at today is a pair of Mercedes-Benz, a 1955 300 SL Gullwing and a 2018 AMG GTR. Mercedes-Benz is not only synonymous with great motorsport, today obviously they are at their peak form, winning 6 Formula One championships in a row. It's quite a dynasty. And Mercedes, of course, has always been a company that has been at the forefront of motorsport. In the 1930s, the Silver Arrows carried all before them and won wherever they ran. After the war, out of a devastated Germany, Mercedes-Benz began to rebuild itself, and by 1952, had introduced their W194 race car. The W194 race car was amazing right out of the box. In 1952, it won at Le Mans, it won at the Carrera Panamericana, one of the most brutal road races of all time, and at the Nürburgring. It also managed to come in 2nd and 4th in the Mille Miglia that year. Quite an accomplishment for a company that had not been in motorsport since before World War II. Max Hoffman, who was the great importer of Mercedes-Benz in the 1950s, had an idea that he went to the Mercedes-Benz management with and said, if you can build a road-going version of the 194, I can sell 1,000 of them. They thought, well, okay, he's a fairly confident guy, and we could use the money. So they developed this, the Gullwing. And of course, the greatest feature of the 300 SL Gullwing are the doors that give it its name. And these doors are actually a practical matter, as opposed to some of the style statements that are made today with fancy doors on cars. These doors exist because of the tube frame of the Mercedes 300 SL Coupe. It comes into what would normally be the door area here and forms a very strong but light sill. So therefore, the only way for the doors to open would be this way, through the roof. It's very interesting too, because as the road-going version of a high-performance race car, this car in 1955 put out 215 horsepower. Doesn't seem like a lot today when you realize that the W194 won at those great races with 175 horsepower. Of course, it's a bit lighter than this road-going car, but nonetheless, it's all about the power-to-weight ratio and the ability that the Mercedes drivers had of being able to get every bit of power out of their cars. These cars were literally supercars in their day. In fact, there are many people who consider the 300 SL Gullwing as the very first post-war supercar. And that legacy lives on. It's very interesting to see, however, today, that this AMG GTR, in fact, was launched as a road car and later developed to become a race car. The race equivalent of this car is the AMG GT3, built for the great GT3 racing series in the USA and IMSA and also in Europe in FIA racing. Interestingly enough here, the road-going car puts out more horsepower than the race car. This 4-liter twin-turbocharged V8 engine, it puts out 577 horsepower, while the race car has a 6-liter normally aspirated V8 that puts out only 550 horsepower in base form. But again, it's about weight. The race car is largely carbon fiber in the body, so it weighs less than this very capable, very fast road car. And so it's a very interesting point to see how racing definitely inspires the breed. For the 300 SL, it was the progenitor. For the AMG GTR, it is the parent. Mercedes always meant great engineering, great performance. And this pair illustrates beautifully how the past translates brilliantly into the present.